Hey folks, it's Maxie here, welcome to a new TEW2020 video, and you join us today for something completely different to the norm. We won't be going through a show, we're going to do lots of reviewing certain things. We're also going to see the roster and how we're looking to book the roster going forward, and lots of other things around the landscape, because of course we're in 2025, so we're a wee bit further progressed. And the save, this might be one episode, it might be 2 episodes, we'll see how it goes, we'll see how long it takes to go through the full roster. But yeah, no script as always, we're just going to fire through various things. First and foremost, do not fear the fact there's still TW version 1.39. That's me just being lazy, because of course you need to... I don't know if some people have it, the issue with our antivirus software that always seems to flag up, and I just can't be bothered setting the permissions again. I'll get to it at one point, so never fear, that's the case. So I'm going to start off, obviously being the start of January, with the various awards from the year it's just been. Obviously it would have been fine if it was on Monday week 1, but I had a few contracts I wanted to sort, so I kind of progressed a few days. So let's just jump straight into the annual awards then. So your Wrestler of the Year for 2024 for the first time was Shingo Takagi. Your Tag Team of the Year for the third year in a row in game was Tanahashi and Ibushi. I'm really intrigued to know, and it's all in hindsight, would it have continually been the Lucha Bros had Phoenix not had that long-term retirement injury, of course. Young Wrestler of the Year went to the son of William Regal, of course that is Bailey Matthews, so far, nothing for us. Veteran Wrestler of the Year though, we did have John Cena pick up his second award of this. And for the first time, the Female Wrestler of the Year is Jade Cargill. We have a stacked women's division. In fact, you'd have to go back to 2014 for someone that's not in our division at the moment. But the first AEW Trueborn winner is, of course, Jade Cargill. Independent Wrestler of the Year went to Tommy N. Of course, Malachi Black works with PWG in the save, so that counts. And for the fourth time, the third time under my tutelage, we have AEW winning the Company of the Year. Of course, we were way behind WWE in the first year because it started in September. So if you are new, please remember this save started the day after All Out. So the day after an arrival of an American Dragon and Adam Cole, baby. Most Improved Company of the Year went to Impact. No surprises there. They've had a few of their developmental talents before they went up to medium, and obviously that scuppered that relationship. So we'll say they do, led with World Champion Matt Cardona. And Match of the Year went to Okada, defeating Shingo Takagi for the second year in a row. They've had a 99. New Japan has won Match of the Year the last 4 years in game. It's up to me to try and better them. So really frustrating that Kenny and Sammy just missed out. But Card of the Year, we've managed to win that 3 out of 4 years. Full Gear winning it in 2022. 23 was Grand Slam, and that 100 for All Out in 2024. Andre Trucker, a German, won it in the Manager of the Year. And the Announcer of the Year went to, hey guys, Scott Stanford. That was a terrible impression, but I always forget he's still with WWE. I think he does like some of like the lesser shows from the studio, but Scott Stanford. I always remember him just from the Zack Ryder stuff. And for the third year in a row in game, Excalibur wins the Colour Commentator of the Year, and Todd Sinclair wins the Referee of the Year. Now, with it being the end of the year, I have to go back, it's my bad. I always do some inductees to the Hall of Fame. So we will bring you to AEW's Hall of Fame. We'll let you see who we brought in. Ace and Christian Cage, that is of course Adam Copeland Edge and the now retired Christian Cage, were inducted this year. We had Billy Gunn come in last year as player coach. Bret Hart was 2022. Chris Jericho after his retirement. I'm trying to make it January every year. We gave Christian an individual induction because obviously of his retirement. Because of his career with AEW, we also have Christopher Daniels, which I felt made sense. Dean Malenko was 2022. Edge came in himself. 2025 also saw Frankie Kazarian. I feel it is a very worthy inductee. 2022 with Jake Roberts and Jerry Lynn and Jim Ross. Matt Hardy, he's 50, so I felt like that's definitely a person we need to induct. Mick Foley was 2022, Mickey James Also retiring is Minoru Suzuki, so I felt like that was the best idea to bring in Suzuki to the Hall of Fame. Ray Phoenix, as soon as he announced his retirement through injury, was straight away inducted to the AEW Hall of Fame. Shawn Michaels, Steve Austin. I've got him as like a person that props up every so often, so you don't see him in pay-per-view, he just does like random appearances on show. Would have got The Rock, but The Rock it was in a drug scandal, so that's why we never see him. Tony Schiavone was last year, and I just put my user character Tony Khan in as well. So that's who's in our Hall of Fame at the moment. I'm going to let you see our champions. If you've maybe not watched for a bit, or we've got that many belts. So we've been running for the last 2 years the AEW Brody Lee Memorial Tag Team Cup. Basically just a tag team tournament dedicated to the late great Brody Lee. 10 in Wyndham won it in 2023, and Danielson and Garcia won it in 2024. This tournament takes place with a conclusion at Full Gear. The Lucha Underground Trios, the previous Trios belts in Lucha Underground that we've now taken, have only been held by one team, and that is the House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King and Buddy Matthews. They've held the belts for 165 days, and they've managed to bring a little prestige to the championship belts. Mixed Tag Team Championships have just been recently created, hence I don't have a picture. I haven't edited that yet. But aiming to promote intergender wrestling where men can wrestle females, etc. And to help elevate the overness of the women, which in this case certainly did with Becky, but we'll see that when we get to Becky's profile. But Tyler Black and Becky Quinn as our champions. The TBS belt is sitting nice at 68. This was before even there was a belt, hence why the picture's not quite right. But 68 prestige, which is actually more than the women's world, so I maybe made this a bit high. But Mercedes Varnado is in a run as champion. She defeated Arisa Nakajima. But you can see we've had an array of champions. Thunder Rosa, the only double champion, and Serena Deeb's had a run, Riho, Cassie Lee, to name a few. But I think considering the belt's been in for 2.5 years, that's a decent amount of champions. On the flip side to the TNT Championship, and we actually haven't had that many champions. So we'd have started, would have been Miro, would have been champion, so I kept the belt on him for a bit. And then I gave it to Sammy, so similar to real life. Then it went to Andrade El Idolo. Then Miro had a run again. A small run for Jeff Cobb, good run for Powerhouse Hobbs. Keith Lee had it right through to August, and since then it has been the Bastard Pack, who's had 9 successful title defences. The Women's World Championship since its inception has saw Riho and Nyla Rose and Hikaru Shida. Then Britt Baker held it right through for over a year. After that, we had a decent run for Thunder Rosa, similar to real life, before losing it to Mercedes Varnado, who then put over Io Shirai. Io had it from June 23 to February 24 with 15 defences. Since then, we've saw it go to Demi Bennett, and since August, our champion has been Jade Cargill. And the prestige for that is gaining 57-62, so we're slowly getting it more over than the TBS Championship, but that's why it's on Jade, because she's the most over women's athlete we have. Speaking of Jade, she's 2 runs as tag team champion, and since those belts were incepted basically, with a run for Raquel and Jade Cargill to start with, then Ronda Rousey and Tessa Blanchard, oh dear, Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo, a small run in there for Io Shirai and Kairi Hojo. Ronda then had a run with Shayna Baszler, which basically done nothing with the belts. And Tay Conti and Anna Jay had a run before a decent wee run there for Charlotte and Jade Cargill. Disappointingly, these two have only defended the belts twice, but I'm really trying to kind of put them over in non-title matches. So, like, facing people that... It's really a course here of trying to get Chris Statlander's psychology over, which you'll see once we get her profile up as well. World Champion. Obviously, we'd have started the save with Kenny as champion. It took so long to get Hangman to a position where he would be happy, Kenny would be happy to put him over, so he had the belt for nearly a year and a half. Hangman had a year reign before he lost it to Eddie. Eddie held it for a few months before losing it straight to HBK, and that was a quick switcheroo so I could get the belt onto Sammy, but also give HBK a run. And a good wee run there from Adam Cole from March through to September, and then the belt went on MJF, who's had it for the last 88 days. World Tag Champs, a wee bit more variation here, but as I say, we've had 3 reigns for FTR. It's a first reign finally for Proud and Powerful, who just won it on one of my last shows. If you saw it on Twitter, you saw the spoiler. But Ace and Christian Cage have had a run, 2 runs for the Young Bucks, Private Party, and the Dark Order, all with runs as champions. 0X Championship has just been kicking about to give some lighter wrestlers some opportunities. Great run, Pac had the belt for a while. Ricochet actually held the belt for over a year. So this has been inception for 2.5 years. And we've only had 4 champions. And at present it is under the tutelage of Wheeler Yuta, who beat Sammy Guevara on an episode of Dynamite. Lucha Underground belt is now currently in the possession of Riddle. Since we brought it back, it's been Garza Jr., Pentagon, El Zero M, and now Matt Riddle. And the Gift of the Gods was recently won by Shane Strickland, but I need to remember this is no longer a thing because the Lucha Underground belt is now the Dynamite brand's version of an upper mid-card title, so we can retire this championship right here. So one side you've also got the TBS, the other side we have the Shine. After purchasing that, Rio was the champion once we took it over, so that was fine. We still had it on her, but I decided let's put it on to Serena Deeb, and Serena's been champion for 60 days without a defence, so we'll have to look to do that. Trios tournament, we've done that once. That was won by the Undisputed Elites, O'Reilly, Fish and Roderick Strong. That was just at Full Gear there. And of course the Owen, we've had that twice. The second one was at Double or Nothing, where I'll keep it similar to real life. The first one was at Revolution. Adam Cole won in year 1, Tyler Black won in year 2, and we've only had one version of the women's, and that was me, Suruga, with the victory. Her and Tyler both had opportunities at World Championships. Both failed. So that's the situation with that. I want to now show you the finance situation. So as you can see, we're at a position now where we're constantly making, if you look at performance here, 20 million a month, so it's perfectly fine. And that's me spending all the boosts for pay-per-views. You see show costs are as high as 13 million, 25 million when it's a double show. Because we operate the network, the AEW plus commercial network, it prints money. So it gives me an opportunity here to just be a bit more fantasy booking rather than worrying about all our stuff, financials, and trying to make certain things. I'm not going to show too much in contracts here, but you will see that I have quite a lot of exclusives, but quite a lot of handshakes. You can see there, that's my handshakes, and that's just down to C. But the reason I'm showing you this is basically this is all the people that's contracts are coming up soon. So I'm really trimming the numbers there. There's some interesting names, but that's getting put down quite a good bit. I'll just click a little bit. You can see a lot of them are mostly handshakes, which you'll see, but they'll be mostly be quietly let go upon expiry. 234 workers on the roster. I want that trimmed down to under 200. It's far too much, but it's because I like bringing people in, and as I say, handshake deals, just to have a few appearances, see what happens. And that's before even include lone wrestlers and all that. If I just actually quickly get through that, actually, if we go to alliances, so we're in the Forbidden Door, which is just us, Impact, New Japan of America, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. It just gives me an opportunity to say to these places, alright, how you doing? What I give is Jay White, basically. So that would just be like a one-off appearance there. But the good thing is we do have, if I just go to talent trades, quite a lot of good relationships. We can get people from DDT, we can get people from Impact, New Japan of America, New Japan Pro Wrestling, NWA, PWG, Stardom. Impact, because they moved up to medium size, we no longer can, but this gives me an opportunity to bring in the likes of Starlight Kid, just name one, AZM was another one, and how we get a lot of the New Japan people in. But as if I go to Company Wars, so you'll see here, obviously we're Titanic, I've been absolutely hammering shows. WWE have obviously lost a lot of people in their size is fairly went down. They've dropped from under big, so they're at like 74s, we're at 94, so we're way above that. But it's interesting when it impacts up to medium. Obviously they're big in America, but not so much here. but they were like doing okay. Like, you can look at their progress, like 55, and we had loaned them people, but once they made that gain, they were over. Now they're at 60, so they're progressing well without us. But we'd basically given them Wardlow. They've got Matt Cardona at the moment, who you can see 63 over. I actually want to try something in game where, and I'm intrigued to know how you guys feel about this, if you've tried anything yourself. I've got Cardona an open contract. If I could get his overness up to like 80 or 90, should he not be pop capped, how much like that would help Impact. And I want to see if I can do that for a few companies. I'm trying it with Jay White, I tried it with Starlight Kid, and it is the same day that's maybe in like a handshake deal, and then obviously if they try and set a written contract, we can just fire money at them. So I'm a bit annoyed at them for doing that, even though we're in good terms with Ring of Honor. I obviously want Ring of Honor because, you know, this is AEW's feeder company in real life, but of course this started way before that was taken over. There's a small temptation to just keep loaning them workers as I can, but ideally I might just sign all these people that have written contracts and just see them fold before us. I'm intrigued to see how that would go down. But everything else relationship wise we're pretty good. We're actually at the moment in a major fallout with AAA. They just were annoying me, and I can't even see them. Where are they? They're AAA there. They changed like a relationship, so I was like, alright, I'll just make sure I sign everybody that's good that you've got. So Pentagon Jr. has been offered a written contract. And who was the other one? There's another one in their books that was really, really good. A lot of these are actually just contract renewals that we've got in a lot of our generated wrestlers, which you'll see when we hit the development tab as well. Could we look at products? So just let you know what I'm running, and I've run this the whole time. Core product is Free Ring Circus, so that means we need to have one of basically storytelling. I always go one storytelling, one wild brawl, and one steal the show, but I think it can be as many if you want. You can maybe go free steal the show as it possibly would work. But it's a large women's division. Match focus I will always put as my main event, so I can have a terrible show, develop workers as long as the main event's fine, and take focus on angle always means the main angle will be the main one, hence I always go for that 100 opener. But you can see here 8% matches, 2% angles on pay-per-view. The matches are rated on 40-60 or 60-40 on in-ring action and popularity. Fans will accept any matches, which is good. And well, it does say fans will expect about the ongoing storylines. I do turn strict storylines off. I like a bit more creative freedom. I just feel it takes up far too much time, and as I say, we're all getting older and older, and time is more of a premium. And obviously matches need to be over 10 minutes as well. But I've kept that for a while, and I'm quite happy with it. Maybe does put a bit more pressure on our athletes to be better in terms of their technique. On the announcers, my events is Excalibur, Ronaldo and Pat McAfee, and the only thing that's different is Rampage is Jericho instead of McAfee. If you look at that colour commentary rating. Chris is also one of the authority figures alongside Daria Bernato and alongside Mick Foley. I'm not think that much more to cover before we move into the roster, so I don't want to just bore you with 9 million things. I think what we'll do is we'll go medical, we'll go top 100s, and then we'll go through the roster and then developmental as well. So medical, people that are missing at the moment: Darius Martin has a severe concussion, he'll be out for 9 months. Johnny Gargano's on 22 days with a hernia. Maternity leave for Jordan Grace and Layla Hirsch. Rehab for Julia Hart and Rina Yamashita, who just went. Turned up wasted on painkillers, so away she went. Red Velvet's got a bruised kidney but back in 5 days. Filthy Tom Lawler has a torn rotator cuff. He's out for 4 months and 2 weeks, and because of that absolutely shocking gimmick I gave him, Wendy the Clown is on vacation for 42 days, and the plans for him hopefully will be better once he returns. Hopefully. So top 100s in the save, I'm just going to go through really top 10s here. So my best show was All Out, which won in 2024. But you can see here some good stuff there in 2023 especially. Both Dynamite anniversary shows scored well. But if I give MD any experience with, or any advice with TW, is look at the dates of these saves, or these matches, or shows. 24, 23. Nothing in 2021. There's one there in 2022. There's two, sorry. Dynamite anniversary show and Full Gear. It takes time. Winter's coming as well, right? But it takes time. You're never going to get a good show. Like, if I just show you here, my best show in 2021 was an 85. And look at all these shows. They're December, November. This is when you're learning what works and what doesn't. And if I change that to 2022, you know what works. You've got people that's over. You've signed stars from elsewhere. You've built stars. It's never going to happen overnight, and then slowly but surely. A couple of 98s. You could argue 2023, was it a little bit better than 24? Nah, I'd say 24 was better. Top 10 matches of all time in AEW in-game. We've got Kenny Omega versus Sammy Guevara, Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson, MJF versus John Cena at number 3, Danielson versus Guevara, Shawn Michaels, Adam Page and Danielson against the Elite. In 2023 we had another Kenny Sammy match, Kenny versus Cody from All Out 23. We had a intergender match, Kenny Omega, Darby Allin and Kana defeating the team of CM Punk, Eddie Kingston and Jade Cargill with 93. CM Punk beats Kenny, and in September, so only a year into the save, with Bryan versus Punk. And you could also add in there Danielson and Kenny just behind at 2022 as well, so really happy with that one. Most of it is carried by Kenny and Bryan, but really cool to see something like a Jade Cargill in there. I think that's pretty cool to see. Top match of every year, if it'll let me scroll, I'm going to do this click, click, click. First year it was Omega versus Phoenix, which got an 85. Second year was Danielson Punk, which was a 93. Following year after that was Danielson Guevara, which was a 94. And then Kenny versus Guevara, which was a 98. Attendances, best one is the 24-hour extravaganza, which was free. December 2023, we're never doing that again. That was a lot of booking. It was like 50 segments. 106,000 for that. 103 for the Free For All series Dream Big, but we'll be bringing the Free For All series back, which is basically free entry. And I believe both our Presences Elite shows have had that. That'll be back in February as well, which I'm quite glad to say. I think the highest paid one is Double or Nothing. I think even the AEW New Japan Super Show had maybe like low pricing. Pay-per-view buy rates were good at the time. Well, you see we started terribly with the 0.01s. Sorry, we started with all these. I only done the free pay-per-views initially, that's right. I have to get my story correct here. The reason it's less than 0.01 is just an AEW Plus, the commercial network. So the buy rates went up, and then obviously I just put everything on the commercial network, so it was better. TV ratings, you can see there. Some stuff we put on TNT, etc. My viewerships. To be fair, the viewership has dwindled, and I think that's because we're on less networks. And I now try and just run on the network. And at the same time, the economy and industry is probably at its lowest ebb at this moment in time. So that's the situation with that. So a wee quick look here. Is there anything we're going to show before we go to the roster? If there is anything I've missed, just fire me a wee message in the comments and I'll do a follow-up with stuff I've missed. You can see what you need to see from there. But I think now it's time. Get ready, because it's big. Here comes the full roster rundown and what the plan is going forward. So we start with former AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page. Hangman's just made the jump from Rampage to Dynamite. A lot of options for him going forward. He'll obviously take on the likes, well, he'll be teaming with the likes of Kenny, but there's a potential feud with Cody I could look at. Various other things. Popularity wise, I think he's capped 86. I've never really seen him go by that. Unfortunately shows as the last year, but that kind of gives you an idea of where his 2025 was. 10's just kicking about really. I'd have hoped that some of his skill set could have developed a little bit better. He's either going to be mid-card doing nothing much, or maybe we'll see if we can get him to go to to Ring of Honor, even though he'll be maybe too over for Ring of Honor. It stays there. I like you can reconsider that decision. I might still send them and just see how we can do with them, but I'll leave it for just now till later on. Ace, I don't have much planned for Edge, if I'm being honest. Maybe a heel turn is probably the best bet here, but I think it's someone worth keeping around because obviously you can see here the charisma stat, the microphone stat are obviously in the 80s, and the psychology stat to carry matches. Unfortunately, it won't last very long in matches given his age, but the overness is still enough he can put onto people. I don't think he came a great overness from WWE, so he's never really changed over the course of the year. Ace Austin is someone that will get a push. I really do enjoy his work, and I feel he's someone that we can just kick on. I just need to find the right program for him, get that psychology set up, and he'll be in a good position going forward. He's someone, did we sign him as an exclusive deal? Up handshake. When I can't be arsed with Impact Wrestling, that's getting upgraded to an exclusive written. Next person that has been cursed with the pop cap is Adam Cole, baby. Good thing for Adam Cole though is he has a psychology stat over 80, which means he can carry matches without penalty, so that's good. It's a shame though that I had a lot of things planned for him that are really going to push him and Britt together, and as you can see, cheating breakup, and now Britt's with Sammy, and Adam Cole doesn't like Sammy Guevara, so I can't put them in any segments together because they won't work with each other. Adrian Quest was brought in. I liked his flashiness stat, and I felt like there was someone there at a good age that we could work with. If he's only putting people over, cool, but I think he'll have some good matches. AJ, again, age is not on his side. I'm trying to see if I can try him out as a road agent as well, but does have the psychology to carry matches. He's never really had more overness with WWE, because obviously in these mods they don't start with great overness. It's not like he's an 80 or 90 rated guy. So when they are older like him, it is a real difficult task of trying to get them to the top level, and as you'll probably see here, brawling is down, technical is down, and I'm assuming stamina has taken a colossal drop. And of course the 2 injuries in the save, broken leg and a bruised pectoral muscle so far. A-Kid, former gift of the God's Champion. Flashiness, decent psychology, good things ahead for A-Kid. Tozawa, I quite like Tozawa. I think he's a very steady hand. There's a lot of good attributes there. Won't be winning any championships, but certainly someone that could put on some good matches. Alan Angels, certainly a work in progress. I feel like he's probably someone that could maybe benefit from time and Impact. I want to send him over Impact because I think they'll get more exposure there than they would with the Development Network. Or the Dark Factory, sorry, on that development. Even though that would have been a bigger scale in terms of viewers, I feel that Impact maybe is just better because it's a bigger company. But I think he's put mostly people over, which is a shame. 73 wins, 68 losses, and if we put it to AEW, he's only ever wrestled 25 times for me since the start of the save. And 10 wins and 15 losses. Been a good run alongside 10. Alex Reynolds is just, I think him and Silver are just there to put people over now, but they had their run as their tag team champions. I just don't really do anything with the Dark Order. Shelley and Sabin, I'll break them under one point here. We'll skip Sabin when we get to him. Great psychology. Alex, both of them are class. I love the motorcycle machine guns. But except where they are in terms of age, they're here to just have some fantasy matches against teams I'd like to see. Alex Zane was brought in for his aerial and flashiness, just to give me another flippy guy, but got a bad injury. Broken freaking neck, but not done much since he's returned. Alicia out was just to give us some more people for the manager. She's not really done much. Andrade El Idolo, your current IWGP United States champion, he'll have a good run with that belt, but you can see something that's quite interesting. That is works. It's a heel, but he's prepared to turn. I'm hoping to go full on babyface Andrade. Some of these things will be spoilers as we go along, but I think that's because I can kind of get away with that, because for me a lot of stuff happens on television which you don't see. You just see the pay-per-views, so it allows me to get these storylines over and across, and then the finale of the events. So I really intend here to go with what I'm calling as the Legion de Andrade, and I'm hoping to include the likes of Bandido, Flamita, Raul Mendoza, and Santon Escobar. I can't remember what I called him in this, but we'll obviously see when we get there. But he's a good run. I believe that's his only champion in AEW. No, TNT champion as well, sorry. And yeah. So him and Charlotte probably won't win the mixed tag titles, but yeah. Angelico's here for good matches, no really anything else, unfortunately. Anna Jay, because of the mentorship of QT Marshall, it sees her in a position where she has 77 psychology at 26. If I can get her to 80, then she's sorted. But I think with the overness she's got, core level of skills, yeah, she's got a very good future ahead of her. Anthony Bones, him and Max Caster will be getting some occasional little pushes here and there. Anthony Henry was just to allow me to bring in, I have the workhorseman basically, so him and JD Drake can put people over. Nakajima, I hope to keep her here for a while because she's had a run as TBS champion, but she seems to be kind of limited in her overness. However, that psychology stat is nothing to be laughed at. An 86, technical skill of 86, she's a very good hand. And I'll confirm here, when we do Forbidden Door is going to be in Japan. She's 84 over, I believe, in Japan. I think I'm going to go Nakajima Cargo in that show. Tavares here to put people over. Ashley Sabera was a terrible idea. The plan was to see how over I could get her with her just being a manager. And I got bored very quickly of that. So she's languishing on a 5-year deal, which is not fun. Athena, just to give me an experienced head, psychology could be a bit better, but she's getting a bit more over. You'll see here our popularity today. We have severely gotten that up since we signed her, so hopefully we can keep that going with her. Aubrey Edwards referee. Avery Taylor is just trying her over. She said cool momentum for God knows how long, but I don't see too much of NXT 2.0, but I just love the idea of Toxic Attraction. I just feel like JC Jane and Gigi Dolan is just the perfect combination. I thought, like, let's bring them together here. So she's still 27, she's still learning, she's still developing a skill set, and she's attending the Nightmare Factory to help with those attributes as well. Axel Barthel, I've got water, so why not? But he's class. I've always heavily pushed him in games. I think he is class. I just think everything, the look, very good English for being German. Yeah, him, Walter, will do big things here. Bad Luck Fale, need to give a muscle to Prince Devitt. Bandido, I've done nothing with. Terrible for me, but that's why I'm looking to put him alongside Andrade so we can start to give him a proper push. Same with Barbario Cavanario. It was just a case of the attributes just stood out to me, and it's up to me to make him do something. Bailey Rose, I think maybe capped at 72, but I think she's just been unlucky that I've been trying to get everybody else over and she's kind of fell by the wayside, but she is obviously talented. The age is worrying me because obviously women retire a bit earlier than men, but we'll see what we can do with her. Maybe turn her face at one point. On the flip side to that, BB Ford. She's been quite good here. We've took a bit of overness, we've giveth and we've taketh. But I feel with her, I think the next step is her and Montez Ford, or Tez Ford in this, are both going to turn heel, and I would like to maybe go Becky and Tyler Black against BB Ford and Tez Ford for the mixed tag titles. But she's in a good position. The worry is the psychology at 60 and the age at 35. Bear Boulder, Bear Bronson, Bear Country. Age is more on Bronson's side, but to be fair, it's just a team to put people over. Becky has got over like a rover in that tag team with Tyler Black. I mean, to give you an idea of her popularity, wait till you see this. Search. Jobbed her out, 74. As soon as we started that, 81, 85, 86. 90s in there. So she's fully back on it, which is good to see. Just wish her psychology was a bit more. Ben Carter can do a prodigy angle, and he can do lots of flippy stuff. Billy Gunn coach, road agent. BJ Whitmer, road agent. Black Taurus is just in to do kind of cool matches. Same with Blake Christian, 99 flashiness. So he'll be putting a lot of people over, but just wow. Bobby Fish gives me options with Red Dragon. We'll utilise them where we can. Bobby Roode, just strictly as a road agent. Brandy Lauren is manager of Richard Holiday, I believe. I think they are in a relationship in this game, so I just put him as manager and wrestler. Brandy gave birth in this, and in this one, she didn't cheat on Cody. I thought it was this. It was another AEW save. She went with Frankie Kazarian. She's just on the books. I don't do much about it at all. So we'll scroll down here. Next up, Brian Kendrick, road agent. Brian Pillman Jr. Hopefully get the Varsity Blondes over, but again, more of a kind of work in progress. Brianna Brandy. She was put over by Kana of all people several times. You'll see here she had decent overness, but I just feel like despite everybody saying she got great potential, that skill ain't working up. In fact, do you know what? Let's send her to the developmental factory, the Dark Factory. Dr. Britt Baker is not really over. A lot of people hate her, as you can see. She was up at the 70s in overness, but because obviously her championship reign came to an end, it was time to go with other people. Ironically. But hopefully we can get her over. Her and Sammy have done a lot of things, but you can see there, Kevin Steen doesn't like her, Triple H doesn't like her, Kyle O'Reilly and Al Snow doesn't like her. Brock Anderson, still a work in progress. Brock Lesnar is just putting people over, and I thought it was cool to get Brock on board. Brody King, part of the House of Black, not really much happening there. And then we come to Mr. Bryan Danielson. The scary bit there where it says he's 43, and I think he's pop capped 86, but the leader of the Danielson Fight Dojo, he's just going to have a lot of wars going forward. Bryce is a referee. Buddy Matthews, I'm hoping to break out of the House of Black, and we can possibly get him within a run at the Zero X Championship, ideally. Calvin Tankman, him and Team Taz, him and Powerhouse Hobbs. Good position, 29 years of age, just maybe needs to work on psychology, and we'll hopefully have him in a good place. Candice LeRae is worrying me because of her age, being 39, but I'm hoping once Jory's back from injury, we can turn her babyface and give her one big run. I feel like I've jobbed her out far too much, but she's been a great hand in this division, and I feel like it's time to pay it back. Cathy Rose was another eye candy to go with Garza Jr., which didn't quite work, so she's on the books but doesn't do much. Carmelo Hayes, Christian Casanova, or as he is known as here, is Carmelo Casanova. Here to put on good matches. One half of FTR, Cash Wheeler. Psychology's good, puts on good matches, 3-time tag team champion. Might make up CMFTR at one point. Cassie Lee, we're going to try and turn her heel. Former TBS champion. Again, her psychology stat was really helped by being the protege of Lance Storm. Cesar's here to put people over. Chad Patton, referee. Charlie Evans, just to give me a bit more depth in the women's division, but I felt like a lot of the stats were good for her age, and I think at 27 she can certainly improve. Charlotte, why not? Chris Bay, new member of the Bullet Club AEW, allowing him to gain some hopeful skill set, some overness alongside Prince Devitt. Chris Hero has not actually done anything, I don't think will, but it was kind of like, right, Claudio, we're going to do you a favour, we're going to bring in your old tag partner, have a few nice wrestling matches. Chris Jericho retired unfortunately, but you can see with the charisma, the microphone, the acting, that we had to bring him in as an authority figure for the Dynamite brand, and of course colour commentator for Rampage. Chris Sabin, we explained with Alex Shelley, put on good matches, and Christian Cage retired and he is now a road agent as well, although could we make him a manager of Jungle Boy that doesn't attack him? Possibly. Christina Von Erie's in. I was told me the idea of putting them alongside Paige with bugging over, but I believe it's just going to be a contract expiry and on you go. Daniels is a road agent. Claudio, as I say, works within the Danielson Fight Dojo. Had some good matches and aids the development of Daniel Garcia. CM Punk. I need to find something for Punk to do. 92 over. Age is getting to him. What can Punk do? That's what we need to find out. Cody Rhodes. The member of the Nightmare family, the member of the Supreme Collective, and he is pivotal in the development of Red Velvet, Ethan Page, and Ricky Starks. And soon to be someone else. We're looking to get Lee Johnson in as well. My worry with Cody is though age and a psychology stat that's yet to be high enough to carry a match. It makes me have to put him with certain people to make sure he gets a good result, when it could be a lot better. Next up, Dakota Eve. Of course, former Evie. I was not sure what to call her, and I called her this before she went with King Kota. But a very strong hand, and worryingly just her age to psychology stat is not the most friendly. Dan Lambert, I'm unsure of. We'll give him someone to work with, but eventually we'll have like some sort of version of American Top Team. We'll scroll that down. Danhausen, he's king about. I don't know what to do with him. Garcia, partner of the Danielson Fight Dojo, attending the Nightmare Factory to try and get technical, and psychology is the big one I want to try and get up. He is legit in game. This was authentic protege of Bryan Danielson, which helped as well. Dante Martin, protege of Sting, but that's good. It's getting up at a few of his stats. Aerial and flashiness is the best. With Darius being injured, it's an opportunity for him to go himself. And remember, he's only 23 in game, so I think how old he is in real life. Not 23. Darby, I think, is pop capped at 83, which absolutely leaves me gutted. If he can get that psychology stat up to 80 though, he'll be a player at 83 and we will keep him there for a while. Daria got over as an authority figure, kept winning, then we start losing. Age is still on our side though. Darius, long-term injury. David Richards was just a case of I wanted to bring in the American Wolves to give me some more want to see matches. Obviously that won't last long, but I don't think his contract's too long. 6-month deal, he's already halfway through it. To give you an idea, Dax Harwood, C. Cash Wheeler, Dean Malenko, Road Agent, Debbie Bennett. I love how her popularity can just go up and down and up and down. 61 to start with, as high as 85s and 87s when she was champion, and because she's back to putting people over 69s and 70s, so you take and give that popularity, but she had a good run, and let's be honest man, she's 28, she get plenty of time. I felt like the biggest thing to let her down was the psychology, and hopefully we can work on that with her. Diona, 30, same kind of idea, psychology to work on. I don't think she's had a belt with us. She was Women's World Champion, sorry, but I think her popularity's kind of fluctuated as well. Yep, 68 at the start of the year, ends at 62. Maybe we can work on a little bit better. I think the plan was to put her with Chelsea, and then Chelsea get the really bad injury, and obviously then we released her, but she might come back at one point. Desmond Xavier, see Zachary Wentz as well, just putting people over after the Wentz stuff, but we'll see what happens. Dragon Lee, why am I not using them? I don't have an answer. Drew Galloway, Drew's done okay stuff here, probably hampered by the lack of psychology, but he's had some good matches, and hopefully some good feuds kicking forward. Of course that went to the wrong year. Drew Gulak, not long joined, he only joined the company in July, part of Ring Camp alongside Walter. They'll be in a feud alongside the other members of Ring Camp against Sami Zayn. Jungle Boys joined them, and they're probably going to need another 2 people to make it a 4v4 matchup. Ian Kofi will just have some good matches there. Psychology again pretty poor. Eddie Edwards, C. David Richards. Eddie Kingston has absolutely everything bar psychology, but good to give him a world title run. And I think Eddie popped out at 85. Yep, 85 was his pop cap. It was cool getting to that level, but I feel like he's at a position can give or take and be in the upper mid card level. That's an idea. Elena Black, part of the Sisters of Sin, she is there with Saraya Knight, so they'll hopefully get a tag run at one point. Psychology, but again, she's 24, there's plenty of time for her to develop. It's all down to how long I play the save while we see her really fulfill her potential. Adam, don't put her into TW for at least another 3 years so I can get to like 2032. Emi Sakura, Road Agent, Ethan Page, really developing and coming on alongside the other members of the Supreme Collective. Psychology's poor, but yeah, he's done pretty well there. May see a tag run with Ricky Starks. Evil Uno, see Alex Reynolds putting people over. Excalibur we know about. Flamita, same idea. We'll try and get him in that Andrade stable. Fuego del Sol, just really kicks about. Gable's someone I want to put good faith in, but I feel he's capped at 65. I don't think I've had him over that. 66, so he's barely moved. So I need to try and work on that. Gable Stevenson, I don't know. I don't like the allegations on him, but we'll see what happens. Psychology 41, he probably could have done me more time developing. He's down at the Nightmare Factory, only over because Jeff Hardy put a promise in to put him over, and it worked wonders. Garza Jr., I think he's absolutely class. I don't know why they don't push him better than WWE, and then I go and keep him at a 67 over guy, but hopefully he gets an opportunity. At the moment, it's 67 over. Gazelle Shaw would be someone that's normally in developmental, but again, the psychology at 72, protege of Lance Storm. Griff Garrison, protege of Sting. You can see we're keeping a lot of these people on the main roster just to get their skill sets up through this the tutelage, I think the word's correct. Hideo Suzuki was the class one. It's like, this guy's got 90 technical. I'm just going to keep him for the 90 technical. So I don't think he's ever won a match under AEW, but he just gets to wrestle everybody. Tell a lie. 1-1. Who did he beat? Him and Daniel Garcia bet Mike and Matt Sydal back in December 22, but great hand. Shida, 56 over, she's kind of fluctuated everywhere, but 36, age not on her side. Haraka Wato, Master Wato, whatever. I love the skill set. Age is still there, plenty of time. Send Hook, skills are pretty poor, but 25. Hopefully we can get him to develop, but the overness is there. Do you want to go the Nightmare? Just to get the stats up a wee bit. Hayo Wanatabe, same idea, skill set's decent. Eli Dragunov, skill set's decent. Pretty decent over. He's had some good feuds over time. Who's the last one he had a banger with? A lot of stuff with Kevin Steen, got matches with Sami Zayn, John Moxley, so he loses a lot, but he always has big opponents. Io Shirai, 74, she was in the 80s as well. Former women's champion. She's just turned heel, and I'm looking forward to a brilliant program between her and Kairi Sane. Zaya Cassidy, one half of the former tag team champions. Shots. He is he not mentored by Sting as well? What's MVP? MVP does him and Jordan Oliver, that's it. But Isaiah Cassidy, good position to be in. As we scroll all these, a lot of these people are just wrestlers that don't do much. Speaking of doing much though, continually attending the Nightmare Factory. She is 87 over across the board. She is managed by Stokely Halfway. She is the women's champion. She's that bitch Jade Cargill. And in the course of the year went from 71 to 87. But she's been built up all over time. 2024, she had 21 wins and 8 losses. That's 8 losses more than I expected her to have. But it's probably been in tag matches. I can see there the trios match up there. So that makes sense. 18 and 4. 4 and 8, because I think I wasn't too sure what I was going to do with her and push her, and 7 and 2 in the first year, and I think that was a DQ loss there. But overall, in AEW, 50 wins and 22 losses for Jade. But she's on a massive winning streak that won't end soon. Jake's just there to put people over. Jake's something as well, just young enough but good enough to put people over. James Gibson, road agent. Jamie Hayter. Attend the Nightmare Factory. I want that psychology over 80, but she keeps getting people giving her rave reviews after the shows. She's over. She's one half of the tag champs. If I can get that damn psychology stat, she'll be the main woman, no doubt. Jason Ayers referee stole from WWE just the last month. Jay Briscoe. So we've got the Briscoes. Jay Lethal leaving shortly. JD Drake putting people over. Jeff Cobb just having mega matches. Jeff Hardy. Chile momentum, he's been putting over Gabe Stevenson, but him at 47, Matt at 50. I feel it's just going to be a matter of time. I don't know if I want to give him a tag run. If it will be a month, and then that'll be it done. Jerry Lynn, road agent. Jesse Mackay, Iconics. Psychology's okay. She was getting a good help thanks to Madison Eagles, but realistically, it's just, obviously in any company, you need people to put people over, and she fits into that category. Got the Usos, not really done much with them. Jay got injured, which was poor, but means I can have more dream matches. Referee Jim Calderas. Jiro was in developmental, not really done much since he's come up. It's up to him, really, if he's going to go back to that, maybe go to Ring of Honor. Or, best of luck in your future endeavours, kid. JJ, it was cool to bring him out of retirement, but his stats are absolutely ruined because of the injury, so when contract renewal time happens in a year and a week's time, we'll move him towards a road agent role. Joe Gacy, it was cool to bring him up, some good stats there. Yeah, him and Sami Callihan will do stuff as the Switchblade Conspiracy. John Cena, guys, just gets more over through losing, but he's putting people over. He never gives up. John Silver, see Alex Reynolds, Johnny Gargano. I think I'm going to give him one push now. The psychology's so close, I've not really utilised them great, but I'm keeping him and Ciampa apart. And this Rebel Heart is gonna go for John CJ. John Moxley. The man. Just please get a goddamn psychology stat to 80. That's the only thing that annoys me, is I can't get that over. He's always over, he's always putting in good matches. But the psychology remains, and has done since January last year, at 78. I don't think his will improve. Big Jonah, I think he's class. Jonathan Gresham, I've underutilised him. Jordan Oliver, protege of MVP, which is why he's still here. But he's doing good stuff with him and Myron Reed. Yeah, they were putting a lot of people over, but having exciting matches at the same time. Jordan Grace is pregnant at the moment. Julia Hart is in rehab, back in 48 days though. Once we get her back, I don't think she has a mentor. She does have a mentor, that's why we kept her here. Our mentor, which you won't believe, is Charlotte Flair. Woo! So we're going to keep her in the main roster. Jungle Boy's pop cap, that's 73 unfortunately, but we're going to give him one more push to see if we try and get him over. More than that, I don't know if it is a thing you can break pop caps, but still at 73 is not great. Jungle Kyona I can't get over, but great hand. Kyle Kabayashi, just there to put people over and have good matches. There's a running theme with that. Kyrie, this is her time. This is the big feud we're going to have, her and Io, and I'm really hoping I can get her really over. Out of retirement when we got her back. 36 though, some worried she'll retire soon, but she's class. Kaito Kiwami, Kiyoyami, whatever it's pronounced. Some of those stats are great, he's going to be a star. Kana, put on good matches. You can go up and down with her overness. She's always wanted to put people over and then come back with some sick matches. She's generally just class. Kaneko Anzai was an interesting one, because she was a manager trained at her dojo, Ice Ribbon. And you can see these two stats there of why I brought her up straight away. Star quality 88, sex appeal 100. And I went, how can we get a sex appeal 100 person over? It's literally the only real thing she's got. She's not even got great charisma or microphone. Obviously she would need to learn English, being from Japan. But the popularity stayed the same for the most part. So we'll see what we can do there. Kaylee Ray doesn't do much. Keith Lee, who am I? Keith Lee. Good matches. 40-year-old isn't great. Might see him do something with his wife, Mia Yim. Kenny Omega, best bout machine. Always good matches. Good little feud there with MGF. Kenta, just re-signed him. New Japan let him go. I think it's just have Kenta kick people's seats in. Kevin Steen, up and down. He gets a good run. And then he wants to put people over, so he's probably his own demise, but with that psychology stat, if I can get Kev into the 80s overness, I'd love to see Kev maybe as a world champion at one point. I've still got all them to go. Ugh. Kiera Hogan, work in progress. Killer Cross, releasing him as soon as his contract's up. Him and Scarlett split up, so he's useless. Kip Sabian is someone I want to push. I want to see if I can get him over, but Had a lot of defeats, but now we feel we're going to put him over. He's got chilling momentum. Was toyed at one point of being someone in the Supreme Collective, but we'll see where we go with him. For Kofi, see Big E. Kota Umeda. Stats aren't great, but there's a lot of potential there. At 29, we'll work with it. If it doesn't work out, we'll let him go. Chris Statlander, I don't think the stats are particularly great, but 29 always seems to do well. And the tag team partnership with Jamie Hayter's been great. Kyle O'Reilly, I think he's pop cap. Lots of good matches. You can put him in with Red Dragon. Solid. Lance Storm does more behind the scenes than we'll ever know because of his great mentorship. Lee Johnson, protege of Cody Rhodes. Looks like he's going to join the Supreme Collective at one point. We'll forget the Nightmare Collective ever happened. Some okay skills there, but a long way to go. Lee Moriarty, I need to find somewhere to go. Maybe we'll probably put him into the Danielson Fight Dojo. Will Hirsch is pregnant. Lindsay Dorado is putting people over and doing flips. Leo Rush is here until his contract's up. Then he's going. Don't have anything for him. Lisa Long was through our Academy 95-6 appeal. Oh, sorry, Ring of Honor's dojo, but we've seen the 95-6 appeal and thought we'll bring her in. She manages Garza. Liviana Morgan, I haven't done much with her. It's the story of her career, unfortunately. Logan Paul, I decided to say hundreds of people. He's getting released, his contract's up in like 11 days anyway, so we'll just let him quietly leave. Luis Fernandez Gil was part of bringing back Lucha Underground, and that's what he does. Madison Eagles is a road agent, mentor of Billie Kay. Who's the cutest in the world? It's Maki Ito, so she's kicking about going, hey, hey. Malachi Black, head of the House of Black. 39 is his issue, but some good stats there we can work with. Manami Toyota, road agent. Margarita Moya was a luchador from... Yeah, she joined the world of wrestling, and then I thought, do you know what? The technical and aerial impressed me. Obviously, experience is not great, neither is respect, the psychology's poor. But we've put it alongside Tay Conti, and we'll see how we can develop. 87 sex appeal as well. From Mark Briscoe, CJ Briscoe. Mark Henry, road agent. Mark Quinn. See Isaiah Cassidy, but Private Party, former tag champs. Mascara Dorada. Bryan Danielson wants to fight him. Mark Cardona was here to help Cody, but there is going to be a future stable with WWE releasing Nick Nemeth. The plan is for the Lost I think it was going to go the Lost Reality, because they were like the two stars that should have pushed out of the reality era of WWE, and it never happened. Matt Hardy, 50, winding down. Matt Jackson, it's a Bucks man. Still put on good matches. I don't think they can get any more over, but they always have 90 performances, so that's good. Matt Riddle, Lucha Underground champion, just puts on good matches. Other member of the Supreme Collective that's just joined, hence why I forgot, was Matty Wahlberg, but a lot of good stats there. I can just hope that I get the former Grayson Waller's psychology up, chilling momentum because of his developmental run. Mauro Ranallo comes, Max Caster, cutting rhymes and raps. Misa Rugia, she's 25, her stats are really good, she's plenty of time. Miko Satomura, just to put on good matches. Worryingly can't get her over, but we'll utilise her as we can. Mercedes Martinez, to help develop women's talent. Mercedes Vernado, the boss, and going to be part of a massive feud in the future, but the psychology is at 79, so close. Has that actually increased? Because she's only 32. And if I can get that to 80, she's going to be a major player after that. Also managed by slowly half away. Mia Yim, we'll try and move her alongside Keith Lee. Mick Foley, we know about. Speedball Mike Bailey, to put on kick-ass matches. Mike Kyoda, referee. Minoru Suzuki, road agent because he's retired. The Redeemer Miro had a good feud there with Kenny Omega, John Cena and CM Punk. Hopefully we can get more over than 82. That might be the most over he's ever been. Yep, good to see. Mayu Yamashita, stats are fantastic. Trying to get her over. Had planned to get her over alongside Rina Yamashita, who then failed a drugs test. MJF, the salt of the earth. Manipulates people, world champion. Psychology's so close to being good. but if he can develop a few skills, he's still at 28, and his peak popularity was 94. Always been over, given the right push. If we go to MJF in 2024, 33 wins and 13 losses. Most losses would have been in tag matches, him not taking the fall. Look at that, by the way. Average was an 84 match, lowest was a 70. Overall MJF, I actually didn't use him a lot in the first 2 years, which is quite mad when you think about it. He must have beat Paul White to get over, but overall 64 wins to 27 losses. Nakazawa is there. I think he's class in real life, he's funny, but he's there. Mustafa, 38, a lot of good stats. Hopefully we'll give him a decent run going forward. MVP, manager, road agent, as he's done a lot of work with mentorship, so let's keep that one up with him. Myron Reed, alongside his tag partner, Jordan Oliver. Justice, is it Justice or Injustice? It's going to annoy me now that I can't remember. But they're class anyway. I did enjoy their stuff. Natalia, road agent, she retired pretty quickly after we signed her, so she was in for the psychology, but retired. Nick Comoroto just kicks about. Nick Jackson, see Matt Jackson, bucks of class. Nikki Storm, I want to push her, but at the same time, she had really good overness, and it was good for her to put people over. Nobuhiro Shimatani, stats were looking really promising, so brought him in, and yeah, we'll see what we can do with him. Obviously I'll try and bring in Takeshita as well. Orange Cassidy, I don't do much with him, but it's Orange Cassidy, he's just there. Ortiz, one half of the AEW World Tag Champs, doing some good stuff with Santana. TNT Champion Pac. Don't think I can get him any more over than a 76, but the guy has been working really well, and the matches are always good. Pat McAfee, commentator. Paul Heyman manages Brock Lesnar and Gable Steveson. Sorry, Hook and Gable Steveson. Criminally haven't used them that much here, which I should probably look to rectify. Paul Turner, referee. Paul White, road agent. Pentel 0M. Might give him something to do going forward since the run with the Lucha Underground Championship is done. Phoenix retiring through injury basically ruined a lot of stuff for Penta, because I'd have just pushed the Lucha Bros to the moon. Pete Dunne has something massive going forward, as he'll be part of the British Combat Club, with joining him developmental talent Tyler Bate, Zack Sabre Jr., and someone you will see later on, although Combat Club should give a little hint who. Powerhouse Hobbs, one member of Team Taz. A lot of stats can maybe use a bit of work, but overall, love Big Will Hobbs, man, I think he's incredible. Prince Devitt joining up again is trying to push on a new Bullet Club in AEW. We have a sort of a wee hang between him and Jay White, but as I say, Fergal's class, so let's keep him up with that good run. And Priscilla Kelly, who we're pushing as one half of her tag team alongside Avery Taylor, as she is only 27, so plenty of time to work with. Still all those to go. I've got to take a wee pause to rest my vocal cords. Right, let's get this finished. QT Marshall, 39 years of age, is mainly here now for mentorship, but is fantastic at it. Has really helped develop a lot of people. Randy Orton, here to have good matches and uses good psychology stat. Raul Mendoza will be part of the Legion de Andrade, or Andrade's Legion, whatever we're going to call it. Raven, road agent. Rebel, probably going to release shortly. Red Velvet, part of the Supreme Collective, unfortunately has poor chemistry with Cody Rhodes, but I feel like with their age, development, if we can get that psychology set up, then there's big things on the horizon for her. You can see there the jump since she started doing promos with Cody, way up in overness. If we look at her skill set, her psychology though, has it improved? Anything? Up 3, it's not bad. Hopefully we can go at a quicker rate. So really feel like in real life she wasn't great as a babyface, and then when she turned heel I just went, yes, this works straight away. Don't know why that is, but just worked perfectly. I love as well, by the way, I've got her as a fan favourite despite being heel. Not bad. Road agent Ray Phoenix, because of that horrible injury. Every week I will say to Ray Phoenix, fancy coming out of retirement? Not going to happen. Herniated disc, body's at 0. He would have been pushed to the moon in this save, because I love Ray Phoenix. He's so good. Injuries there. Rey Mysterio, put on good matches because you know it's one of the GOAT luchadors. Rich Swann, put on good matches and then he'll be released. Richard Holiday, part of the Supreme Collective, everyone's always offering to put him over. Good verbal stats, that's what I was looking for. Some good stats there as well. Plenty of time to develop. Right, Knox referee. Absolute Ricky Starks. Great charisma. Some skill sets there is good. Maybe has to work on psychology. Benefiting as part of the Supreme Collective. Ricochet does flippy shit really, really well. There's really good stats there. I think he's class, but I think he's pop capped. Riho, nice wee position there in the 70 over. Sheila 27, get this psychology stat up, and you are going to go places. Also, protege of Emi Sakura. Rina Yamashita was on a run and then get done for steroid, get done for painkillers, off to rehab. Rocky Romero, just really cuts a bit. Roderick Strong, just really cuts a bit in the faction he's in. Ronda Rousey, I never push her because I don't particularly like her in real life, but in real life, you know what I mean, in reality, but might push her because charisma. Some skills are actually alright. I forgot she was actually pretty good. Well, we'll see. I kind of just wanted to take her for WWE, I think. Ruby Soho, good little run there before losing to Mercedes Vernado. Solid hand. Rudy Charles, referee. Ryan Nemeth, also wee brother. So he might join that faction with Cardona and Nemeth if I do actually sign him. Ryan Tran, referee. Ryo Mizunami, really good hand. Selena De La Renta, high sex appeal, youthfulness on her side. I just need to find something to pair her with. Sami Callihan, Switchblade Conspiracy. Sami Zayn, psychology stats good, a lot of stats look good. That's the worry though, 40. Trying to get more over, but again, someone that's just been very welcoming and putting people over. Sammy Guevara cheated with Britt, so he's a dick. But yeah, I've pretty much given him every belt. That's the only stat I need up is psychology. That psychology stat has grew a little bit, which is good. I'm hoping putting him with MGF and Holiday will give him more matches to get that experience, but yeah. 3 championship belts: World Champion, TNT Champion and X-Champion. 10% towards becoming a Hall of the Immortals inductee. Who would have thought? Samoa Joe, really, really good. 45 though. Santana, C. Ortiz, great run, is now champion. Hopefully that can go. Santos Fantasma is recently signed, hasn't actually debuted. He was going to be a heel until I had the Andrade idea at work, so we'll probably put him with Andrade. Sarah Del Rey, road agent. Sarah Stock, road agent. Sari, getting there, ages on her side. Again, psychology stat, and then she is pushed to the moon. Saraya Knight, back from injury, back from retirement. She cheated with Jimmy Uso, so we cite Naomi. We released Naomi because of that. A solid hand. Worry again is the psychology stat, but still only 32. Scarlett Bordeaux really just kicks about. Her basically splitting with Killer Cross ruined that plan. Scorpio Sky kicks a bit. Serena Deeb, Shine Champion, part of the Danielson Fight Dojo. She's been up or down with her popularity, but as I say, she's been a solid hand. Look at that, 48 down to 37, putting people over now, back up at 65. Just want to use her as like a final boss type thing. So not 2 minutes to go now. Shane McMahon, just felt it was funny to sign Shane. He was managing Scorpio Sky at one point. Shaq was again that Logan Paul ideal. Shaq's going to leave in like 12 days. Sean Bennett referee. Sean Dean the captain kicks about. A wee bit overness thanks to Walter wanting to put him over, but I'll hold on it just now because he's still 29. He's got plenty of time. After the captain Sean Dean, we have Shawn Michaels, now road agent. He was like 85 over, but put over Switchblade Jay White, so that's going to help his cause, so we can get some New Japan people over. I just felt like it was cool to use the out of retirement feature and to give HBK one run. Nakamura, same as WWE, he's coasting. Nakajima, a lot of good attributes. I just wish she had a wee bit more psychology, but she's been a good hand to have. Shotzi Blackheart, pretty decent hand, maybe lacks psychology, but I think she's really cool with a unique look. Shumna Katsumata, again, a lot of the attributes were really promising. Sonny Kiss, I just feel I need a program for Sonny. I don't know what to put what program to put Sonny Kiss to do. I really don't know, but I feel there's something there. We just need to find it. Austin kicks about. Drinking beer. Steve Macklin is going to be released. Gone his contract's up, but it was good to bring in him, the Prisoners of War, him and Weston Blake, just to be an enhancement team. But they've done a fantastic job to the extent I was tempted to keep him. So him and Diona that's broke up. Ah, so they're not a cut. So she wouldn't be raging if we. Well, she'd be raging if we re-signed them. Sting obviously just kicks about. He's retired. Stokely manages Jade and Mercedes. Stu's part of the Danielson Fight Dojo. Suzy Suzuki, lots of potential. Maybe try and see if we can send her to Ring of Honor. Swerve, part of the For the Culture alongside Keith Lee and Tess Ford, but as I say, I'm looking to go them all different directions. Swerve's maybe Championship Gold, possibly. Saru, really good technically, someone we can use. Taka, Road Agent. Takuma Iroha, who I saw had a fantastic psychology, some really good attributes, and even though she's loyal to Marvelous, we've got her on that open contract, that handshake deal, and I'm hoping she's someone we can push going forward because she could carry a lot of people. So the push so far has seen her go from I think 20 over in the, 22 over, 26 over, up to 57 already. So that's working well. And if we had her wrestle in Japan, 80 over, so that's only going to benefit her company over there. Tam Nakano, great stats, poor overness. Tai Conti, work in progress, but she is only 29. She's divorced her partner, which means Sammy will be hunting about. Taya Valkyrie, experienced head. Taz, leader of Team Taz. Tegan Knox, decent hand, let's just try to find something for her. Tetsuya Endo, good stats. Naito, I've done absolutely nothing with, but psychology was good, everything else was good apart from the actual skill set and his body breaking down, which didn't help. Tess Ford we previously mentioned, as I say, we'll pair him with BB Ford. Thunder Rosa, pretty good, I just don't really have a lot for her. Problem is she's 38, which is a bit worrying, but we'll utilise her how we can. She has had title gold with the TBS Championship twice, the Women's World Championship, and the Lucha Underground Trios in its previous incarnation. Timothy Thatcher, part of Ring Camp. Tom Waller signed, got injured and probably will leave. 11 days, he's gone. Ciampa, I'll try and turn him into an absolute prick basically, but underutilised. Toni Storm, she's done okay. I don't know if she's ever had a title here. No, she had the TBS run that long ago, a year and a half in game, but I've done okay with Toni. I'd like her to get her psychology up, but overness wise I think she's in a pretty good position. You can see they're floating about the 70s to high 80s, high 60s. Tony Khan, Bad Sons. Trevor Lee to put on good matches. Trish Stratus, a part of that Logan Paul idea, she'll be going in a couple of days. Never really worked that idea. I was going to have her as a manager, then never get the spark of who to put her with, so we left it. Tully's with FTR. Tyler Black, his overness is limited, but we'll just have him having kick-ass matches. Again, would maybe benefit from psychology going to 80. Someone that doesn't need that is Walter. Some of his matches have been great, really, really good. And leads Ring Camp. You'll see though, he was happy to put over Sean Dean, which was where most of his defeats came from. But he's working on NXT UK. I'm really sure get him on a written contract so he doesn't go to them. Wardlow, PopCap, stats aren't particularly great, but I might give him a push and see what we can do with somebody that's kind of limited technically. Weston Blake, see Steve Cutler. Wheeler Yuta, starting to kick on now, 31, 0x champion, in a good position going forward. Recently signed, soon to debut in 8 days time, 6 days now, bloody William Regal. He is going to lead the British Combat Club. Didn't want to go with Blackpool with different wrestlers, so I went, we'll go British. So it's going to be him, Zack Sabre Jr., Pete Dunne, and Tyler Bate. Wendy the Clown. I was a clown for having that idea for a gimmick. We'll try and push him as something mental when he comes back. Yota Tezue, stats were okay, maybe give him a tag team. Yuka Sakazaki, she's just a magical girl. Hopefully we can push her, but it's getting quite tricky to get her over. Zachary Wentz, see Desmond Xavier. recently signed Zach Gibson. Might just hold him to get James Drake and have the grizzled young veterans here. And last but not least, Zack Sabre Jr. The worry for Sabre Jr. is the push is coming, but at 37, is it a little too late? Now I've realised how long that video stretched on for, so that's the roster, that's the plans. I'm not going to do developmental. I'm going to leave that to you. If you'd like to see the developmental rundown, as I'm explaining all these characters, but bear in mind a lot of them are, I get there, new gens. So take that in mind. But let me know if you want to see me run down the developmental, and I'll look to do that in a second part. We'll maybe add that in maybe like a week's time. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've liked what you saw. Hope that these kind of people and wrestlers on the roster give you kind of a motive to watch in the future, as we hope to, as I say, spark on it with some good events coming up. Next video will be AEW Breach Break. Then we'll also have the New Japan Super Show. We will have our presences all elite, or our presences elite. And I may switch the Free For All series in Revolution round and have Revolution at the end of March, rivaling Mania. But we're going to have the Free For All series in Mexico. So we'll see what we can do from there. But thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. And yeah, let me know what you think of the roster. Let me know if you've watched much of the journey so far, how you found it, what have been your favourite parts, what's been your best favourite parts of my booking and my worst parts of my booking, and is there anything that you would do differently going forward. So let me know. And until then, see you soon. Bye bye.